Fishing line material. Fishing lines are usually made from durable types of wire such as nylon or polypropylene. The durability of the line is very important because it must withstand the great weight of giant halibut, which can be up to several hundred kilograms. Hooks and bait. The hooks used for halibut are usually large, capable of penetrating the fish's mouth without breaking or bending. The bait is the deciding factor in attracting halibut, usually small fish, such as herring, or fresh squid. Sometimes, fishermen also use artificial baits with scents or glow to attract fish. Line marking. Fishermen often mark their fishing lines with colored lines or small buoys to monitor the length of the line and the position of the hook when dropping into the sea. Fishing location. Fishermen often rely on their traditional knowledge and experience to choose the ideal fishing location. These places are often reefs, where halibut hide and hunt. Using positioning equipment, sonar, sound positioning, and GPS technology help fishermen determine the exact location and depth of the seabed. Sonar helps detect seabed structures and schools of fish, helping fishermen place hooks in the most optimal positions. Line dropping technique. Line dropping is a process that requires close coordination between members on board. The fishing line is dropped slowly to ensure that the hook does not get tangled or broken. The speed of the line dropping needs to be suitable for the water flow and the speed of the boat. Attaching buoys. Buoys not only help determine the location of the fishing line but also play an important role in keeping the fishing line afloat on the water surface or maintaining the desired depth underwater. Some buoys can be attached to lights or signal devices for easy finding in bad weather conditions or at night. Line retrieval technique. Line retrieval needs to be done carefully so as not to damage the hook or lose fish. Specialized line retrievers can be used to assist fishermen, especially when lines are long and there are many halibut hooked. Inspecting the fish. Once the halibut is pulled from the water, it is important to inspect and dispose of it immediately. Halibut are usually stabbed in the head to kill them quickly, which minimizes pain for the fish and preserves the quality of the meat. Freezing on site. On large fishing vessels, halibut are often frozen on board using ice tanks or specialized refrigeration equipment. This helps keep the fish fresh during the transportation from sea to land. Transport. The fish are then transported by large ships or planes to consumer markets. Continuous refrigeration from sea to point of consumption is key to ensuring the quality of the halibut when it reaches the consumer. Weather. Alaskan waters are known for their extreme weather, from strong winds, large waves to freezing temperatures. Fishermen face a high risk of accidents such as shipwrecks, falling overboard, or being entangled in fishing lines. Other marine animals. In addition to halibut, fishermen may encounter other large fish, whales, or even sharks. This requires them to have good handling skills to avoid injury or loss of bait. Compliance with regulations. Fishing for halibut must strictly comply with regulations of the Fisheries Management Agency to protect natural resources. These regulations may include quotas on the number of fish allowed to be caught, minimum size of fish, and other conservation measures. Fishing for giant halibut with long lines is an art that combines modern techniques and traditional experience. Fishermen not only need to be skillful and strong, but also have a deep understanding of the marine environment and related regulations to be successful in this. Sonar and echo sounders. These devices not only help fishermen find areas with a lot of halibut, but also help identify the seabed terrain where halibut often hide. Sonar emits sound pulses and measures the time it takes for them to reflect back, creating a detailed map of the seabed. Temperature and depth sensors. These sensors help fishermen monitor water temperature and depth, thereby adjusting their fishing line release accordingly. Halibut often prefer areas with a certain water temperature, so it is important to capture this information. Hauler. Modern fishing boats are often equipped with automatic line release machines, which help reduce the labor of fishermen and increase efficiency. This machine pulls the fishing line up evenly and quickly, minimizing the risk of tangling or damage. Automation systems. Some boats are also equipped with automatic line release and retrieval systems, minimizing human intervention. The system can be programmed to operate at specific depths and distances, ensuring that the hook is always in an area with high halibut abundance. Fishing quotas. Governments and international fisheries management organizations impose quotas each year for halibut. Each fisherman or fishing vessel is allocated a specific quota, based on vessel size, fishing area, and other factors. Monitoring and reporting. Fishermen must keep detailed records of the number and size of halibut they catch, and report them periodically to the management agency. This data helps to sustainably manage halibut stocks and prevent overfishing. Minimum size. To protect juvenile halibut populations, only fish that reach a minimum size are allowed to be kept. Smaller fish must be released back into the sea, releasing breeding females. In some cases, fishermen are encouraged to re-release breeding females, to preserve the gene pool and ensure the survival of the halibut population. High value. Halibut is one of the most commercially valuable fish in the world. Halibut meat has a delicate flavor, is nutritious and has few bones, and is popular in many markets, especially in North America, Europe and Japan. Consumption. Halibut is usually sold as fillets or whole. It can be processed into many different dishes such as grilled, fried, or made into sushi, sashimi in Japan. Post-harvest handling. After being caught, halibut is usually cleaned, skinned and cut into fillets either on board or at nearshore processing plants. This process must comply with strict hygiene standards to ensure food safety. Transportation. To maintain freshness, halibut is usually stored in cold conditions from the sea until it reaches consumers. The use of modern packaging and cold storage technology helps halibut retain its natural flavor and high quality throughout the transportation process. Habitat changes. Climate change is affecting ocean temperatures, currents, and other ecological conditions, which may alter halibut habitat. This may result in halibut populations shifting northward or deeper, making it difficult for fishermen. Ocean acidification. Increasing ocean acidification due to dissolved CO2 may also impact the growth of halibut and other bottom-dwelling species, reducing halibut food sources. Sustainable management. The halibut fishing industry faces a major challenge in maintaining a balance between economic exploitation and conservation of natural resources. Strict management practices and adherence to international regulations are necessary to ensure that halibut resources remain available for future generations. Research and development. Continued research on halibut populations, environmental impacts, and improvements in fishing technology are needed to develop a sustainable halibut fishing industry. Alaska's giant halibut fishing is not only a traditional occupation, but also an important part of the regional economy, closely linked to the livelihoods of many coastal communities. However, sustainable management and adaptation to environmental changes are key to sustaining the industry into the future. Fishing festivals. In some coastal Alaska communities, fishing festivals are an integral part of local culture. These festivals often include halibut fishing competitions, post-fishing season celebrations, and traditional ceremonies to celebrate a good fishing season. Native peoples and the sea. Alaska natives, such as the Inuit and Aleut, have a close relationship with the sea and halibut. For them, fishing is not only a source of food but also a part of their spiritual and cultural life. Traditional fishing methods, such as using kayaks or umiaks and bone hooks, are still maintained in some communities. Giant halibut stories. Catching giant halibut. Alaskan fishermen often tell stories of the giant halibut they have caught. Some can weigh over 200 kilograms and be over 2 meters long. These stories are often passed down through the community, becoming legends of the skill and luck of the fishermen. The dangers of catching large halibut. There are stories of fishermen struggling with giant halibut, to the point of being dragged into the water or having to rely on the entire crew to pull the fish onto the boat. These experiences not only demonstrate the danger but also demonstrate the courage and skill of the fishermen. Monitoring and research. Many scientific and non-profit organizations have initiated monitoring and research projects on halibut populations to better understand their migration and reproduction patterns and the factors that influence their growth. These projects help provide data needed for resource management decisions. Halibut tagging program. One popular research method is to tag halibut and release them back into the ocean. Fishermen who catch tagged halibut report back to the management organization to collect information about the fish's movements and lifespan. This allows for tracking the halibut population over time and space. Community education program. Community education programs are implemented to raise awareness about the importance of conserving halibut resources. Classes, workshops, and media campaigns are held to teach people about conservation regulations, sustainable fishing practices, and the importance of the marine environment to their livelihoods. International cooperation. Because halibut are a migratory fish that travel across many different ocean regions, international cooperation in management and conservation is important. Coastal nations that share the halibut resource, such as the United States and Canada, have collaborated in managing and protecting halibut populations through international agreements and joint management organizations. Halibut aquaculture. Although the majority of halibut on the market still comes from wild capture fisheries, halibut aquaculture projects are being developed. Biotechnology improves the growth rates and resilience of farmed halibut while minimizing pressure on wild populations. Optimizing bait and hooks. Studies of halibut feeding behavior have led to the development of better baits and hooks, which increase catch rates and minimize negative impacts on other marine species. Adapting to climate change. Fishers and researchers are working to find ways to adapt to changes caused by climate change, such as changes in currents, water temperatures, and halibut migration patterns. Developing new fishing techniques and adjusting fishing strategies will be key to sustaining the industry. Smart management technology. Digital technology and artificial intelligence can be applied to managing the halibut resource. Smart monitoring systems, using sensors and big data, can help monitor fish populations and predict trends in fishing, thereby making more accurate and effective management decisions. Alaska Alaska's giant halibut fishing industry is an industry with a long history, deeply embedded in the culture and lives of fishing communities. While facing environmental and market challenges, the industry continues to thrive thanks to a combination of traditional experience and modern technology. Sustainability and smart management will be key to ensuring that the halibut fishery not only survives but thrives in the future. Migration and distribution. Ocean temperature plays an important role in determining the habitat of halibut. With the increase in temperature due to climate change, halibut may migrate further north or seek deeper waters where the temperature is still suitable for them. This leads to changes in traditional fishing areas, forcing fishermen to adapt to the new conditions. Impact on reproduction. Ocean temperature also affects the reproduction of halibut. Higher temperatures can alter the reproductive cycle, affecting the survival rate of halibut. Larvae. This can lead to a decline in the fish population in the long term if conditions are not stable. Impact on food sources. Ocean acidification, due to increased CO2, can affect small organisms in the food chain, such as zooplankton and krill, which are the main food source for young halibut. The decline of these species may result in juvenile halibut not having enough food to grow, negatively affecting the survival and growth of fish populations. Bottom impacts. Halibut primarily feed on bottom-dwelling fish and invertebrates. Acidification can weaken the shells of species such as clams, crabs, and other shellfish, reducing the food source for adult halibut and affecting fish populations. Marine ecosystem change. Invasion of invasive species. Climate change may create favorable conditions for invasive species, such as jellyfish or other fish, to take over halibut habitats. This may lead to competition for food and living space, reducing halibut populations. Population structure changes. Changes in habitat due to climate change can lead to imbalances in halibut populations, with changes in the ratio of males to females, or between juveniles and adults. This imbalance can affect the long-term reproductive and maintenance of the population. Fishers and scientific research. Many Alaskan fishermen are directly involved in scientific research and halibut conservation projects. They play an important role in providing field data and information on halibut migration patterns, reproduction, and behavior, which scientists have a basis for developing effective conservation measures. Sustainable fishing practices. Fishers can adopt sustainable fishing practices such as using environmentally friendly hooks and limiting the capture of juveniles or unwanted species. This helps minimize impacts on halibut populations and other marine species. Sharing knowledge and experiences. Fishers can contribute to educating the community about the importance of halibut conservation. They can share their knowledge and experience through workshops, classes, or local media programs to raise awareness and promote conservation practices. Partnering with conservation organizations. Many Alaskan fishermen work closely with conservation organizations and regulatory agencies to protect the halibut resource.